So, a likely scenario is in the next few years, maybe 80 to 90% of these company will go
Mm,
bankrupt, right? In the long run, so again, I probably use auto industry as an example because that's something I most familiar with. Um, if you look at what's happening right now, um, I think there's a potential scenario, and I'm not saying it will 100% it will happen, but the potential scenario is there has been a price war going on for the past maybe 3 to 4 years already, and that will continue maybe for another 2 3 years. Right now, there's
within
a
China.
hundred in China, yeah,
Yeah,
within
within
China. So,
Chinese
so
companies. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right now in China, there's about 100 to 150 NEV brands, so a new energy vehicle brands, right? A lot of them you probably never heard of. There's so much industry overcapacity. So, a likely scenario is in the next few years, maybe 80 to 90% of these company will go
Mm,
bankrupt, right? A lot of people will lose their job, so a lot of people will what we call drop in their social status or social class because when an industry go bust like this, a lot of people will never get back to where they were, right? So real
mm,
estate is also an example. Real estate 10 15 years ago was like a booming industry in China, and because the government had pumped so much money and there was so much capacity, it went into you heard like Evergrande, went down like
right.
a couple of years ago, right? So the industry never recovered, and there was a lot of people lost their job, and they become like Didi driver, like basically Uber drivers, right? So
Mm,
so a lot of like white collar, upper middle class, become like working class, right? There's definitely a lot of like families, there's a lot of those kind of things that's happening. Like on a personal level, I think there's a lot of personal tragedies, if you will. But on a national level, looks like we're advancing the country, right? So